Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Not Another Bangs audio review. I don't know why that cracks me up, but it does. This is actually going to be the last video for over a week, which always gives me a really weird feeling, and I don't really like it necessarily, but also in life, it is important to unplug from social media, from electronics in general, screens, if you can for a bit. So, being this is the pre-camping trip video, looking forward to not having any access to the internet at all. There's no cell coverage up there, or it's very, very spotty and shoddy at best, so can't count on it. It's cool. That doesn't mean I won't have music, because I will. I've got the couple of things my buddy Dan sent me. So I've got this Insignia CD player with a really killer DAC and 500 milliamps of power. So that's pretty cool. I've got some cool CDs to bring with me too. So yeah, we're like going back in time. Oh yeah, and the other is the iPod, the 80 gig iPod. I think it's 5th gen. Anyway, it's got the good DAC in it. So I had to get all of my really nice 3.5 millimeter terminated cables out and take a look at what I was gonna take with me. No, I lied. I didn't get them all out. I found a few that I felt were gonna be sufficiently good, and did those. A couple of modular cables. Just in case y'all are wondering, the sets that are coming with me: the Kiwi Ears KE4, the Meyer Audio Slevo SLA3. Not the 224. The 224 went on vacation to a different state. Let's see, what else is over there? Oh, the Campfire Quatio, just because I loved it. I haven't listened to it since the review. And the TSM Tansio Mirai. I don't know why I have to say that. That's kind of annoying. Say it that way, but Tansio Mirai, the TSMR Armor, which arrived, was it shortly before or shortly after? Right around the time that the Shock went home. I think it was either same day or day after. It was perfect timing, because I knew it was going to be a little step down, but not like a drop through the floor kind of step down. So that's going to definitely get some time while we're out there. Anyway, for today, I owe you guys another version of Planar Wars. So this is the Million-Bazillion episode Million-Bazillion of Planar Wars. Some oldies, I guess, in this hobby. These would be now considered oldies. So you've got the Campfire Audio Supermoon, again courtesy of Rogue Gorilla. Thanks, buddy. Really cool of you to let me borrow these, and I will send them back to you as soon as I get back. These retail for $1,000 if you're not paying attention at all. Regular retail price is $1,000. Can be had on the secondary market or tertiary market. I love saying tertiary. I don't even know what that means. Either you can buy them new or used. Probably better to get them used, because you get a pretty massive discount and pretty awesome condition most of the time. So those guys versus the humble but mighty RDT10, the original with the funky plasticky shell. One of the RD cables that I got a couple of weeks back has the same material at its terminations. How cool is that? It's like RD came home to RD. So now I have the cable, and I really kind of like the blue and off-white combo too, in silver. So yeah, the cable, it's perfect. It was so fun listening to these again, like it is every single time I go back to them. That's why they will always have a place here at home. Really, really cool. Good stuff. And then I was gonna do the S12 2024, but two things happened. I wanted to send it to somebody to borrow, because they hadn't really been impressed by too many Planars, and listen to metal like I do. So that was the other reason, even though the S12 2024 does not sound like a prototypical Planar. right? Because it's got the sort of smooth over treble, a little more polish there, not quite as much energy or intensity. I thought they would be a good fit for them to try out, but I wanted to get a more traditional tuning into this comparison, versus sort of new-ish school tuning, a little newer. And then I think that the S08 and the S12 2024 would be the, let's see how sort of flat we can get the treble without losing all energy, right? So that's even a more new school, maybe like a kind of a meta sort of tuning to those guys. So yeah, the RD-T10 we all know, being the unicorn, or if you're Pula, the Unicrom. Why? I just saw it as unicorn because like any normal person would see it as unicorn, but unicorn's probably got like 18 million bazillion like copyrights and trademarks and stuff like that. So they did a smarty. They did a, I'm using my brain, and called it the Unicrom. So that's a single DD beryllium that's on its way. Be a couple of weeks out, but it's on its way. Anyway, so the original unicorn, back to my point, the RDT10, because that a unicorn is something you're just like you don't ever expect to come across. $60 planar magnetic set that sounds like it's $200 or $300 every day of the week, and beat out most everything I've put against it, with a couple of exceptions, but just a couple. And then there's the S12 Pro, which has the sort of old schoolio kind of tuning and character to it. Listen, these are all planar magnetic sets. There's no doubt when you listen to them that that's what you've got in your ears. They are definitely, it's got the timbre, it's got the treble, they have the treble energy going on. It's not the smoothest, but it's pretty, what's the word? Oh yeah, crystalline. Oh, another word that I love. So crystalline sort of texture to them. Excuse me for a moment. So yeah, there's no mistaking it. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, the RD60. This the Lecture S12 Pro used to be, I think it was 170. Yeah, I think it was like 170, 169.99. I got mine for 135.20. First set that I ever bought. And you can still find them for 137.20, and they don't really get much below that. So having them hold their value is pretty impressive after 3 years. Having them, or 2.5, yeah, almost 3. Having them still be on the market this far out, maybe not as good of a sign. They may have overshot the production a little bit, but eventually that means you'll probably be able to buy these for around $100 potentially, which would be a damn steal. So just think about that, especially if you're into the more traditional planar magnetic tuning timbre, stuff going on. So we're not going to waste too much time here because I have a ton of stuff to do to get ready for camping, and not much endurance or pain tolerance left to do it. The first 3 days back to Best Buy were brutal, and I didn't say that to them. So if you're listening to me on this channel and you work there, I think I probably hit it pretty well, but damn. So it's going to take some getting used to. I'm not giving up. They've stood by me through thick and thin, and I at least owe them the effort of trying to come back. So we're going to start some part-time hours, and they graciously gave me this next week off for my trip, even though I just started, and we'll see how it goes from there. So anyway, I have a lot to do and a short time to do it in. So if I can even help it, I don't even know if I can go less than 22 or 23 minutes, but if I can, I'm going to. I just want to give these guys their due. Let me bring up the graphies. I'm going to do them one at a time so you guys can see them, and then we'll do the overlays. So first one I graphed was the RDT10. You will see that in green. Yeah, good luck seeing the green. But there it is. So as you can see, the T10 has the elevated sub bass, a little bit less in the mid bass, not quite as punchy as some, but not necessarily a tuck, I don't think. Mids are, just very slightly recessed, but not to the point where you're like, it sounds cavernous in any way. And then you have this nicely extended energetic treble with the triple devil horns this time. Was that Hijinks or Fiddlix that said that? But anyway, whoever said devil horns, thank you. I love that saying now. In the one in the middle, and then a little bit less energy up here, a little less sparkle and air to them, but still there. Still there. They hit it out of the park, and it's not just about the tuning being like pretty damn great, but also the 14.2 new gen 14.2 millimeter planar magnetic driver that they utilized. I guess that's what new tech does for you, because to be honest with you, it kind of just runs circles around the S12 Pro. I don't know how else to say. Maybe more because I like a little more bass than the S12 Pro has. But speaking of which, the S12 Pro's graph will be supposed to be blue, but yeah, I guess that's blue-ish. You can see that the big difference here is bass. There's a lot of similarity in the mid bass to low mids, and the ear gain, and even the treble is pretty similar. The S12 Pro is definitely spicier, and then has also a little bit more energy in the air region too. That's why I call this like more of a traditional tuning, right, for Planar at least, and more of a mid-bass emphasis here too. But you can see that it shows you the artist still has plenty of mid-bass, and the S12 Pro a little bit more mid energy too. But they sound very similar. They just do. The only thing that really sets the Artie apart is the bass, which is just a hard-hitting, deep-hitting bass, which is freaking phenomenal. First thing that I noticed when I was listening to these, and they made me sad down. They made me sit down. Like just a few songs in, they made me sit down and go, "What the heck is going on here?" But yeah, it's a Unicron. So then we bring the Kilobuck Supermoon into the picture, and this will be the lightest color that you can see. It's goldish color, goldish green, and let me take out the S12 for the moment. It graphs almost identically to the RDT10 all the way up to the Pinagain, and then it gets a little bit more energy in that upper mid lower treble, but kind of follows a it's a fairly consistent path to the end, but does have more sparkle and air up top, just like the S12 Pro. But the difference here is this bass and this upper mid lower treble peak and this extra sparkle up top. They're balanced. They're really well balanced. I find myself wanting for more bass when I'm listening to the S12 Pro than it gives me without some sort of manipulation, and I don't know, I'm either too much of a purist or too lazy, and it's probably too lazy to do any EQing outside of hitting the bass boost here. And honestly, the bass boost on the iFi Zendeck V2, just remembered, that interacts with the Let Shore S12 Pro like super well. So solution, if you've got a good analog bass boost, then you can utilize it and sort of balance the set out a little bit more. But I don't want to talk about the S12 Pro too much because we've gone over this. I've done a review on it. I did a comp with the S12 2024. It's a good set. It's approximately, 6 or 7 times less, maybe 8 times less, on sale as the Supermoon, and you could do a heck of a lot worse. Really, you could. Let's talk about the Supermoon now, because the Supermoon has some things that need to be talked about. Strictly from an aesthetics standpoint, if I paid $1,000 for a set, knowing what I know now or less, or if it was a year ago or whatever, I would look at this and be like, they better sound goddamn, excuse me, pardon my language, they better sound gosh darn good, because this is not an unboxing. This is a box. That's it. Inside, the cable sounds fine. Looks subpar for a $200 set, much less a $1,000 set. Now, you know, Sonics are they're fine. I did use, what did I use with it? Because I felt like I should, you know. I did use the pure copper Zins cable because this is an MMCX connection, so I didn't have a lot of options. But this has got to go back on the DMA. So yeah, I did use that. I just felt, I don't know, just felt better. These things are, this is where it starts to get better. Okay, they're built like a brick shit house. I mean, they are built. So there's no question about the build quality. They're pretty massive. Like, it takes a little to get them situated past the, you know, little catches on your inner outer ear. You know what I mean? Cavum, tragus, antitragus, whatever. So yeah, it takes a second to position them. So smaller ear, you folks, I'm sorry. These are not going to be your friend. They're not going to be comfortable. I found that once I had them situated, they were mostly comfortable. Like, they were okay. Like, I didn't have to take them out necessarily because of, you know, physical fatigue, or any kind of fatigue for that matter. So yeah, you get the build, you get some decent accessories, and but nothing that makes you go like, wow, you know what I mean? And for $1,000, I want wow. I just do. I feel like I deserve it. I feel like if I've dropped $1,000 on something, I want to be wowed. I don't need a Hummer. I just need to be wowed. I just need a massage. I don't need the happy ending. I just need the massage. Okay? Give me a really nice unboxing. Give me a great cable, and give me some killer accessories and a nice case. And I'm happy. This is cute. It's unique. It's functional. Doesn't scream $1,000 to me. So, but then again, this is my first experience with anything from Campfire, so I don't know. You know, maybe this isn't a big deal to Campfire fans, or a big feel to Dampfire fans. Yeah. So yeah, Supermoon is really like, I just want to move the box. I kind of hid the box while I was listening to these because it was bothering me. But yeah, they sound freaking phenomenal. And I'm not even gonna like try to pretend, you know, well, they're $1,000, so they better sound good. No, these sound fucking good. Really fucking good. Sofa King good. You know, I'm the Sofa King. Yeah, they're the best Planars I've ever had in my ears, and they, I almost said it. They just are. Impressive. It's clarity, depth. It's the bass, which graphs very closely to the T10, but somehow just has more texture, more detail, more impact because it's a little faster. You know, it's just got a little bit more hit, especially in kick drums. Picks up the bass, you know, like the finger pull or the pick on the bass pretty easily, and then detail retrieval beyond that is just really impressive. It picks just about everything you could possibly imagine up and out. You know, things that you're like, oh yeah, I can hear that, or they're more like, oh, that's what that sounds like. I heard it before, but I think I just really heard it this time. Yeah, they're up there. They're up there. You know, not just for Planars, but for sets that I've experienced. Now, they're not the DMA, they're not the Shock, they're not the Fan 3, they're not at that. Or the Hodor. Well, yeah, that might be close to the Hodor. Just an overall, like, you know, performance. But yeah, I mean, they're good. They're good. You know, I'm not even going to say, like, I hate to admit it, or they should be for the price, or whatever. I just said it, but I don't feel that way about them. What I feel about them is that they're just really, really, really good. They sound great. And they would be on my short list with the Shock if they weren't $1,000. If they were like $350, like around the S15, the Let's Sure S15 price point, I got to get my ears on those at some point. I'd really like to know. If they were around that price point, they'd be in the short list. You know, if I could find them for around that price point used, I'd seriously think about it. But for now, they're just they're just a dream, and I feel very lucky to have experienced that dream. I think it's going to stick with me for a while, so I'll be keeping my eye out for them. But you guys know what I'm going to say. It's the humble Artie T10, sporting its brand new cable, which matches it so nicely. This set is just, it's stupid how good this is for the price. I don't know. I look at this build and I'm like, yeah, I can see people, it does kind of feel cheap. I hate saying that, but it does. But then it kind of doesn't, because there's like really like no seam. There's nothing wrong with the build quality. Like the way they went about it is great. Like it's put together well. It's just the material feels freaking weird, and it feels inexpensive. And that's the only thing, because it even came with a nice cable too, you know. Yeah, that's the only complaint I have about it, is they feel a little bit weird. And if you can't handle it feeling that kind of weird, you could buy the 210, but you're not going to get the same experience, or the T10 Pro, not 210, T10 Pro, but you're not going to get the same experience out of that as you do with the OG. You know, it's just how it is. I gotta go, guys. I can't really put this off any longer. I need to start, like, I gotta get my list together. I've got, stuff down here I can pack. I've got my, like, survival stuff and my audio stuff, and I've got my 3-day assault pack. That's so freaking funny. I bought an assault pack because it had enough pockets and it was big enough to carry what I needed, but not for any kind of assault, unless you count all the fish I'm not going to be catching this week. That's an assault. Yeah, so I gotta go. But I wanted to share this with you. Listen, to me, if you can afford it, if $1,000 is kind of like a drop in the bucket, or if it's like not really a big deal, well, good on you. Good on you, first and foremost. I could see spending it on this, like if it was just going to be like another one of my $1,000 to $4,000 sets, if it was like, that I wanted to listen to, if I just wanted like a nice planar experience for the day and I have the cash, then okay, I have no problem. I'll buy it. No problem. For the rest of us, yeah, we got to keep looking, because these things are just too expensive for your everyday kind of purchase. And although they are special and they are the best planars that I've heard, ain't no way in my book they're worth $1,000. Not when you can buy like 16 to 20 RDT10s, or not that you need to do that, but you could buy like another 10 really good quality IEMs and still spend less than $1,000. Just saying, just saying. And they'd come with a case instead of a weird netting bag, and ribbon cable that is probably really nice, but it's still kind of a flat ribbon cable, whatever. Okay. Listen, so okay, here the order is, it's simple. It's the Campfire, Supermoon. Of these three, it is the RDT10, and then it's the S12 Pro. And the RDT10 is closer than it should be to $1,000 set, and the S12 Pro still holds its own pretty well. Yeah, considering it's kind of different. Yeah, okay, that's going to do it. I'm going to miss you guys. I promise I'll send some photos. I won't be able to send videos or shorts. There's just, a photo might pop through here and there. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. But I will be thinking about y'all while we're gone. So please be careful, be safe, be nice. Take care of each other, okay? We are all we have. I'll see you soon. Nothing but peace to you. Love y'all.